I just got another call about CP. He got his dick stuck in a hot tub.
All right, see you later.
All right.
All right, go get him.
CP rhymes with TP. Am I fucking right? Am I
I don't
right?
get it, but I love it.
What's up? This is Michael Rapport, or as that motherfucker CP calls me, What's His Cock from True Romance, and you're watching WILIscredia. CP, you motherfucker. You know who the fuck I am from True Romance, you motherfucker. And what the fuck is a WILIscredia? Who the fuck knows what a WILIscredia is anyway?
Hello. There was like 5 more intros, I swear. I don't know what happened to them.
I'm telling you, I wasn't even ready.
We're on way too soon. Hello all. I come to you as always as CP, sometimes known as Charles. I'm joined with my partner in crime, Cody Leach. Cody,
Hello.
hi. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. My kids went back to school today, so I'm like, oh. So,
I love that shirt, by the way. It's fucking awesome.
oh yeah.
That's fucking tits. Yeah, a long time no stream, but I called it and I wanted to get in front of everybody else watching Prey. Prey, technically, unless you're you know, a member of the press or limited few on the internet, you haven't seen Prey yet. The masses have not had access to Prey, so it's kind of interesting to have all these opinions about a movie where most, I would say 90% of people with an opinion have not seen said movie. This of course fits in with we're going to blend a whole bunch of shit together. The theme of the episode is the anti-woke crowd and movies and just how confused I think they really are with what they're trying to argue for. Because Bob of Organized Chaos Productions joined me, and he was talking about all the big time, you know, anti Captain Marvel. Every time something happens with Star Wars, they have something negative to say, and it's an agenda. Disney's doing this. Fucking, you know, everything in Hollywood is done. If there's a woman, it's an agenda. If there's a person of color, it's an agenda. If God forbid there's a gay couple, it's an agenda. People aren't focusing on the story anymore. They're just focusing on these little fucking social cues. And I don't know, you know, if you want to be a social platform, that's one thing, and be against what's going on with progressive politics, because that's essentially what you're talking about, is where progressive politics are going and where the world is today as opposed to 30 years ago. That's one thing, but you're not reviewing movies. You're talking about bullshit that is, it has nothing to do with storytelling and or character building. So I guess I'll start with you, Cody. You have reviewed the latest from Hulu, which actually it's
Hulu, which the comment section loves to correct me. It just comes out of my brain as Hulu, and they're like, "You're ruining my life with the way you pronounce it."
God, I wish my life were ruined by just that word. So you reviewed the 20th century Disney owned Prey, which is a Predator prequel of sorts.
Yeah, I didn't use the word prequel because I think some people, when you say prequel, they assume it's going to tie directly into the first film, and it's not. It takes place 300 years before it. So if that's your only definition of prequel is that it came before, yes, it's a prequel. But there's no mention of Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's no Easter eggs. There's no post-credit scene, nothing like that. It's basically a standalone movie.
Okay. So we were talking about it before without, spoiling it for anybody. You were telling me about some of your comment section. Again, people for the most part haven't seen it. So, what has been the response on the negative end, Cody?
Well, I'll say first off, most of the comments are not negative, so that's good. Which tends to be the case.
That's good.
It's the loud minority usually. Most people are just excited in the fact that a new Predator film is getting positive reviews because Lord knows it's been a while. So that's the main comment thread that I've been getting is like, oh, awesome, that's good to hear. I took a screenshot of just 5 comments, and there's probably another 20 at least that could fit into this category. And the main negative theme tends to be one of 3 things. Either fuck this woke bullshit, the critics are being paid by Disney, or how the fuck is a female going to fight a predator? And it's like the same comment phrased 5-6 different ways. So I got one comment here. It says, it's very interesting to watch these Prey reviews back to back because these guys are using a script from Disney. Talking points. This is the second review where the guy talks about woke and calls it a 4-letter word, referencing a point in my review where in my mixed column, I talk about the main character's arc, where she is a woman in this Comanche tribe in the 1700s. She wants to provide for her tribe, but that's typically a male role. The males do the hunting, the women stay back and take care. I mean, that's history. That's not an agenda. That's factual history.
Right.
And I was mixed on it only because the general storyline that she's going on, where you have group of warriors that a woman wants to prove her worth to, we've seen that before. They're not doing anything new in that department. So I thought it was well done. I didn't personally think it was very heavy-handed. I've seen some other reviewers that I respect disagree. So I think it's going to depend on your tolerance. But I didn't personally think it was a movie that was shoving anything down my throat. And I'm usually pretty sensitive to that. But I was just mixed on it because even at the end of the day, it's a story that I've seen done a dozen times. I used Mulan as a direct reference. So he used woke and called it a 4-letter word. So it's difficult to tell if he actually enjoyed it or Disney told him what to say. Go watch Prey reviews back to back, one after the other, to understand what I'm referring to. They all mention
the movie.
Yeah. They all mention how the franchises for Alien and Terminator should be scaled down for future sequels. It's really weird. These guys are robots. To which I responded, I guess they forgot to send my talking points when I said Disney Star Wars has sucked and Thor Love and Thunder made my balls ache. So we've all seen this. It's been as soon as movie criticism on YouTube became a thing, there's always the critics were paid off. If you praise a Marvel film and they're a DC fan, you were paid. If you praise a DC film and they're a Marvel film, they were paid. It's always been something. I don't know if there's critics or personalities out there or influencers that are on the payroll with movie studios. There might be.
Possible.
Yeah, there might be. I can promise you they ain't coming for me. I'm going to watch their fucking movie whether they pay me or not. They know they don't have to put me on the payroll. You can believe that or you don't. I really don't give a fuck. But to the other point about like look, if people are out there with a review that sounds very similar to mine, then one of 2 things happened. They either watched my review and regurgitated some of the things that I said, because that's something that can very easily happen. That's why a lot of us don't watch other people's reviews. It can just happen subconsciously. And then or they just agree. It's that simple. I mean, how long have we said that Alien, especially Terminator, needs to go back to basics? They keep trying to go bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're like, dude, just make a lower budget action horror film like you did in the first film. Just go back and cut the fucking cancer out. So that's not exactly some revolutionary idea coming from me. And I don't think Disney owns Terminator, so I don't know why they would be wanting me to promote Terminator anyway. Anyway.
They're going to buy it soon.
Exactly.
It's next on their project.
That's next, yeah. After DC crumbles that, and then Terminator. Then I had a comment. This is another one. It says, woke, you go broke. Everyone with a brain is so sick of your BS brainwashed thinking. Woke, your time has ended. Somebody with the name Bendover says, woke has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that you have a girl with the size and build of a small child trying to fight a 7 to 8 foot tall predator with an axe and bow and arrow. She couldn't kill the bear that was chasing her. How is she going to kill a predator? Ludicrous. I had somebody back on track. Yeah, sorry, but I'll be the judge of that. Unlike most of you, I'm not afraid to call this what it probably is. It's completely believable. I'm sure it's completely believable a 90-pound woman could take on an alien that is physically, mentally, intellectually, and technologically superior. If you're strong enough to lift a bear, how could anything survive? YouTubers are being paid off. I only included one of the, or two of the woke ones, but I'm telling you, there's at least 30 or so more. And I knew when I saw the trailer that was what was going to happen. And to the movie's detriment, they unfortunately decided to include one line in the trailer where she's, why are you so determined to be a hunter? Because you say that I can't be. And I'm like, oh, why did you lead with that? Fuck.
Yeah.
But when you watch the movie, I knew. You always have that little bit of reservation in your mind. You're like, is it going to be one of those movies? Because it's totally fair to say that some movies are woke. They are. There are some that exist.
Oh, yeah. And that's the problem. Like, you say it so much that, like, you ruin it when it actually is a fucking thing. Like,
it's very similar. It's very similar to, like, the word racism being thrown around, where it gets attached to literally fucking everything, to the point where things that deserve to have that term, you're numb to it by the time it comes around.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got David Zaslav saying we're not going to do Batgirl because of X, Y, and Z, that's all business decision. And you got people on Twitter that are like, of course, the minority Batgirl actress is going to have her movie taken away. And it's like, it's not okay. And it's the same thing with woke. It's like, okay, you got Black Christmas 2019. Yes, fucking go ahead. Grab your torches and pitchforks.
Run amok.
Yeah, you got other movies like that, that I can't think of at the moment, an example as perfect as Black Christmas, but there's movies out there where it's like, oh yeah, for sure. Or there's a line of dialogue that just makes no sense, and it's like, oh, that was totally in there to check a box. Or a character.
Yeah.
There's movies that are being made where you can tell the scriptwriter or the producer is like, okay, we got to have this, and this because social media says so. Okay, get those and then write your story around that. 1000% fair to say that. But when you apply the term woke to literally everything, if there's a gay couple holding hands in wrong turn, oh, it's woke turn. You got a same-sex couple that shares a kiss that is so short that you could lean down and get a sip of your fucking soda and miss it in light year, and everybody's bashing that, saying Disney's trying to mold children. You've got, Resident Evil on Netflix that just came out, to where you got Lance Reddick, a fucking phenomenal actor, that gets the role of Albert Wesker, and you have all the people saying that it's woke because they changed him to a black guy just for the sake of having a black guy on screen. And it's like, is there times where that happens? Yes. This is very clearly the time where the best guy for the job just happened to be black. Was it worth all of the backlash? I don't know. Apparently, probably not financially. But if I was the casting director and Lance Reddick walked in the door and was like, I want to play Albert Wesker, I'd be like, holy fuck, sit down and read. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like the litmus test is just completely broken. And so you've got that very passionate side of moviegoers that just they're done with it. They've had an era where they feel like Hollywood has been shoving agendas, shoving messages, shoving political correctness up their ass. And they've come to a point now where if they even smell a scent of it, they're going to vote with their dollars, not see the movie, and then go online and bash it for the next 6 months.
Right.
And there's a sliver of that motivation that I understand. Because for the longest time, what have we always said? Those of us that are really into the movie space, vote with your dollars. The big one used to be, I'm so sick of remakes. Well, then don't go see them. Don't go see them, and they won't make them anymore.
Right.
Well, now people have realized that they can vote with their wallets. And so they're using that lesson learned to be like, I don't like this shit, so I'm not gonna see it, and I'm gonna put every ounce of my energy into the YouTube comment section and to the Rotten Tomatoes audience scores and IMDb to make sure that I destroy this movie because I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
In regards to something like, I mean, people said the same thing about Star Wars when the people kissed in the background. It was it worth bringing up? No. How often have we ever talked about fucking extras in the background? I have never ever in my entire history of talking about movies thought about, oh man, that dude back by the red light, what the fuck? He was tying his shoe.
Yeah.
People don't tie their shoes like that.
Yeah. On that point, I will say that there is some fault on the studio's end for constantly trying to advertise what they're doing because they want high fives for it. Like, I mean, like I remember all the way back at Star Trek Beyond when that was coming out, and they were just pushing like crazy before that movie came out. Like, look how awesome it is. We finally made Sulu gay. Aren't we awesome? Aren't we cool? And you watch the movie, and all they literally did is have a scene in the first 20 minutes to where they get off of the little cold open adventure, and Captain Kirk looks over in the distance, and John Cho walks up to a guy, holds his hand, kisses him, and they walk away. And that's it. Yeah. Again, you could look down and get some fucking popcorn in your hand and miss it. And it's like, you don't deserve a high five for that. Stop.
Yeah.
If you're going to do something, same thing with Lightyear, same thing with the fucking Dumbledore movie that just came out. Like, you had one scene that China cut and took that entire subplot out of the movie. One fucking scene.
Yeah.
One scene. So it's a bit of a double-ended argument in some ways, where I understand the other side in certain aspects, because I get annoyed with that just as much as I do the backlash, where it's like, you want credit for that? If I was the person you were representing, I would feel shortchanged right now. I'd be like, really? That's all I got? One scene?
Yeah. If I were to complain about companies like Disney and really go after them about what they do in movies, it wouldn't be about them being woke. It would be about them being cynical and doing everything they can to get every last penny. Like, look, we have a gay couple in this, and you know what? If I were gay, I'd be like, what the fuck? This isn't somebody I can put on a poster and hang on my wall and look up to and whatever the fuck. This is not my Rocky Balboa. I'm sorry. So like, if you want to like talk shit about these studios and these production companies, you're off the mark. It's their cynicism talking about, not their wokeness. Yeah, they're trying to appease to the masses, but they're trying to make money. Like I hate to break it to you, but that's their main fucking goal. Yeah. They don't care if you're white, black, gay, fucking robot, dog, whatever. If you've got cash, what do you need us to do? We'll put it in there.
Yeah.
That's the way they've been doing things for years. It's just and like you said, they're just fucking slaves to the dollar. That now that China is now this open opportunity for them, they do things like, oh, you don't like that, all right, so let's work around the thing that we were trying to get high fives for and give that to China because we still want our money. If you again critique that, talk shit about how Disney wants their cake and eat it too. I'm with you there. They're trying to have the world and really not really doing anything at all. They're trying to do everything and doing nothing at the same time. But to accuse everything of being woke is insane. And to bring it to the surface level of movies and storytelling, I remember the big thing when Star Wars came out. She's Mary Sue. That word was constantly put out, constantly. And does this character in Prey, do they have training? Does she start out as a badass?
No, I mean, you see her. She doesn't win by herself. It's not like I can't get too specific. It's not like it's her versus the Predator the whole movie, and she just wipes the floor with his ass.
Right.
So there's certain things that lead to her victory that aren't completely attributed to her. At the same time, she also learns things throughout the movie. Like there's a scene in the trailer where she learns to like tie a rope to her axe so that she can throw it and retrieve it. And she has this encounter with a bear that when the predator first shows up. I mean, no, she's nowhere close to being able to accuse her as a Mary Sue.
Yeah, which builds the character and helps the arc along of the ultimate battle that this person is supposed to have.
Yeah.
That brings me to one of the comments on the stream from yesterday, and it fucking confused the hell out of me. And I just need to find it. So somebody commented on our, super grifty SJW anti-woke YouTubers, movie reviewers, excuse me. And they said, back in reality land, we just reviewed movies based on whether or not they were good or bad. I really wish we were in that reality land, because I don't know what the fuck version of reality you're living in, but yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to be in a place where we're just talking about good or bad movies.
I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to open up with that and then completely contradict it. Look, writing on the wall.
Yeah. Next sentence.
Oh, God.
The problem with woke movies is that every single one of them is the same story over and over again. They might as well be religious tracts. Here is where I just fucking go off the rails. If a person is black and a woman, they will be experts at the science or the math. They will not need to be trained or have any kind of personal growth. It will always be in them from the beginning that they are experts, that they are just misunderstood by the outside.
So, a character?
Yeah. If a person is a black woman, they will be experts at the science and the math. How many times,
what, man? Like, I'll tell you what, I've been thinking lately, like, as much as I love Die Hard, it's complete bullshit that we don't see John McClane go through his training academy beforehand. There should be at least 30 minutes of Police Academy to make sure that we understand where his skills come from. Because them just saying he's a cop is just not enough for me.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. What do you mean he's a cop? The expert in science. I want to see this person go through college. I want to see their grades. I need report cards, and I need at least 20 minutes of it. Otherwise, I don't believe this character as an expert in science and math. Why do they need to be since when do we need some sort of verification? And it's funny that you said that the person needs to be black and a woman, that you need verification that they're an expert in math and science. Why not just a white dude? You're okay with a white dude being an expert in math and or science and not having training? Characters are characters. Like, when you drop into a movie, like the world is, if the director and writer and everybody are doing their job, you're supposed to just hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. Like, if you need everybody's story to be explained, what you want is the longest, most boring fucking television show in the history of life. Independence Day, that dude who with the long hair, the guy from Star Trek, he was a fucking alien scientist who whatever the fuck. I didn't think this guy's kind of quirky, but he's got that white coat. So yeah, I guess I'll accept him as somebody who knows what they're talking about. Never did I think I need more proof that this person knows what the fuck they're talking about. Like, you just take it. It's just presented to you as police officer. Oh, right. Yeah, it's a police officer because they're in an outfit. They've got, they're dressed a certain way. They're committing certain actions. Since when do we need fucking training for whatever character is on screen, and why would it be misunderstood from the outside?
It feels like one of those things where they're trying to make a point, and so they create issues that aren't there to try to win the point. I remember whenever Wrong Turn came out, I had a comment. I'm gonna have to paraphrase. It's been so long. I had a comment that was bitching about the gay couple. That was just like, of course, I don't believe this person can log in. Yeah, exactly. I had a person that was bitching about the gay couple, that it was being forced into the movie and forced down their throats or whatever. And my rebuttal, I'm like, they're just a gay couple in the movie. Like, the movie never pauses to talk about it. The movie never pauses to explore it. They literally hold hands when they walk into this fucking podunk diner, and then they get killed within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. And then his response to that was like, well, then isn't that a problem? Because they're going to put them in the movie and they're not going to do anything with them. They're not going to make them part of the story. And I'm like, so what's the problem? If they're making them part of the story, it's shoving it up your ass. But if they don't do it, then that's a problem. Like, what the fuck? And it's just, that's what it reminds me of. It's like that whataboutism. It's like, oh, fuck, I'm losing. What about this?
Yeah. Everything's like fucking, I need to win the debate that suddenly we're in, because that's what comment sections are, is, I've dunked on you. This person goes on and says, there will always be at least one lesbian, preferably multiple lesbians, but they will always be at least one. There will always be at least one gay and trans. Even if the story doesn't make any sense, they will inject one in. How many movies?
There's also the fact that the person's sexuality might not have any relevance to the plot.
Right.
So they happen to be gay. I mean, like,
Sin
City. Isn't there a scene where Mickey Rourke walks in with Gina or Carla Gugino, and he's like, a body like that, I can't believe she likes girls. Like, nobody was crying back then. It's just like, oh, she's a lesbian. That's part of her character. Okay, fine. Moving on.
Yeah. Like, suddenly it seems like people want like a fucking background on everything about a certain character if they're not listen, you guys are bringing it up yourselves. If a person is a black woman, if it's not a white man, you need a background check. What does it matter what their fucking sexual preference is if you're watching like a comedy about somebody who works at McDonald's? Like, their sexual preference has nothing to do with the story. What does it matter?
Yeah. It's silly, because anytime I see somebody really dig their feet in the sand and go that route, you can always you can blow the argument up in effortlessly. Like, I remember whenever people were really losing their shit about Lightyear, and they're like, people are trying to groom they're trying to groom my children by putting a lesbian couple in here. And somebody's response, they're like, so you were cool with like all the Disney princesses in like the 80s and 90s making out with the princes? Like, that's literally the same fucking thing. And it is like, it's just it's stupid. Like I said, there's movies that you can absolutely attribute those words and those labels to where I will agree with you. There's movies, I have reviews, factual evidence on my channel where I'm like, this is some fucking agenda shoving bullshit. I mean, here just recently, I reviewed A24's Men, and the comment section on that one is just like the polar opposite. You get one or the other. You either get the anti-woke crowd or the anti-woke crowd. And it's like, you can't win. And so that was a movie where I'm like, this was going in really interesting places, and then it just seemed like they wanted to hammer this one message up your fucking ass the rest of the movie, and it just kind of took the enjoyment out of it. It wasn't that I don't agree with the message. It wasn't that I'm not like part of the cause. It's just that this form of storytelling is not entertaining anymore because of that. And I always go back to Black Christmas. That's still the ultimate example for me. That is not a story. Those are not characters. There's nothing in that movie whatsoever that has artistic merit. It is just men suck, women are awesome for 90 minutes. And it's just like, okay, there is a version of this movie that can get that across, that could actually be entertaining if you would lean into it or be comedic with it or something that you'd be surprised at how much more effective your message is. But when it feels like you're sitting in the movie theater and someone's just holding a megaphone to your ear, like, men suck, bitch. And it's just like, okay, this isn't entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. We've said it for years. The story is important. The movie, the elements of storytelling come first, not your message. You can weave the message in and have subtext, and you better be good at it, especially lately, because if any of these fucking clowns get a sniff of it, they're gonna say that's the agenda of the movie, is that it's got an agenda, it's woke, it whatever the fuck. I mean,
and
fuck,
people
top.
Go
Go
and
ahead.
people that aren't a part of either extreme, the people that live in the gray, we all have our different tolerance levels. Like I got people that I know and respect that I know aren't extreme in this whole debate, that have watched movies that like they're I think Sean said that Prey was a little bit heavy-handed for him. Which
Really?
is, that's not something that Sean would say for any kind of points with anybody. So it's like, okay, well, his tolerance level was just different than mine. I've had people that watched Candyman from last year that said the movie was destroyed in the third act because it was suddenly just anti-police message. And I'm like, it wasn't quite that for me, but I get it. Like those are movies where you go into that
Sure.
gray area, you can have a conversation, be like, okay, let's just
Sure.
different tolerance levels. We all have different
Sure.
tastes, but it where you lose that nuance, where you lose that ability to have conversation, is where it's just one extreme or the other, and everything has that label. It eliminates the conversation, because when you start saying that word for every movie, every character, everything, I become numb to it. It's white noise. Every time I see the word
Yeah.
now, it's like scroll.
Yep. Yeah. I
You were
mean,
saying about Top
and
Gun. Sorry.
oh yeah, well, and Top Gun. Speaking of subtext, that is, there are gay subtext moments in Top Gun. I mean, you can watch it and just enjoy it as a movie and not think anything of it. And I mean, it's not like two dudes, raw dog it on top of the sand there during a fucking volleyball scene. But it's if you're smart enough and you look deep enough, it's there, just like Nightmare on Elm Street 2. You could watch that as a horror movie, and you can kind of twist your head and be like, well, that's interesting. That's an odd choice to make there with that. And the filmmakers have come out and said, oh yeah, no, we were making a gay movie. Like, yeah, it doesn't have to, like, just because the movie has an element of something doesn't mean that it is woke or not woke or whatever the fuck. Like back then, nobody's complaining about Freddy 2. Like nobody's complaining about that still to this day.
There's a lot of movies that we all love that if they were made today with the exact same script, that would be pounced on by this crowd. I mean, the two examples that we have talked about numerous times, Aliens and Terminator 2. I mean, you got Terminator 2, where the innocent woman from the first film that had to be protected by the guy is now this fucking this badass, and she's the one who's going to take down the Predator. If they did that today, they would lose their shit. And that's one of the most celebrated movies of all time. Same with Aliens, that whole theme of motherhood and everything like that. She's got all these badass Marines that are trained out the fucking ass to survive the situation, that all have their ass handed to them. And what does she do? She survives to the end and takes down the Queen single-handedly. That would make people lose their shit today. I mean, even something,
she has no training either.
We'll get away from the greatest of all time movies. You talk about something like The Long Kiss Goodnight, that is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, oh, of course, you got to have Gina Davis as this badass spy, and she's got to protect Samuel L. Jackson. Like, all these things have always been part of storytelling. Like, not every movie that has a strong female lead or a strong black lead or even a nugget of some kind of a message in there is agenda based. It's just now your tolerance is so low, or your scent is just so amplified for it, that anything that's even 1% that, you act like it's the whole movie.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, sheep in a comment section saying mindless nonsense like that. But if you're somebody who reviews movies and you're quite, this is what you do, and you watch a couple of 100 movies a year, and you know what you're looking for. You should know that, like, storytelling at its core, like, is always about, I mean, it's the simplest form of storytelling. Somebody different, like that's always been the thing for, like, a protagonist. There's something different about them than everybody else. Fucking Harry Potter, he's special. There's something different about him. Fucking Rocky Balboa. Fucking, I mean, if Rocky Balboa were black, people would say this is bullshit. There's no way a guy that size would beat the Russian, especially considering the Russian guy killed the other guy earlier in the movie. Spoiler. This David and Goliath, like, we're going way back with storytelling. That's what makes these things like better, more entertaining to watch, where you invest, like, I hope
tension.
yeah it's unexpected.
It's the whole problem that you have to solve in the plot. I mean, it's like you apply these comments that I've gotten on Predator. Like, how the fuck is a 110-pound woman going to defend herself against a predator? Go back to the examples we just had. How the fuck is Ripley going to defend herself against this hulking Goliath of a queen?
Right.
How the fuck is Sarah Connor going to defeat two Terminators? Like, intelligence, outsmarting it, having luck. Like, there's all these kinds of different ways. It's never just the biggest, baddest person is going to win. Otherwise, pretty much every villain in every movie would win by the end of it. I mean, there's always
exactly.
That's a classic representation of the villain, is they're going to be smarter or more nefarious or bigger or more muscular. That's just a visual thing of, like, that's the bad guy. And so it's
overcoming the odds, man.
Yeah,
like, what the shit?
It's so fucking ridiculous to me to, like, now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. What about all that shit? It's just, and then you throw that out there, and there's always some stupid bullshit like, oh well, those are classics. I mean, that was just better written. It's like, you haven't seen the fucking movie. What are you talking about? It's better written.
There's no way that little guinea kid Danny LaRusso with a broken knee would have kicked that blonde kid's ass. There's no way.
Yeah.
Like, it's just history. It's storytelling. It's like, you guys act like this is like movies have just started 5 years ago, and the difference is there's other people. Like, don't you want something different? Don't you want something different, or you just want the same shit all over again? Okay, we are Halloween fans. I got it.
Yeah.
And the horror community, like, that baffles me. The horror community saying anything is woke and having a feminist agenda shoved down our throat. You guys have no idea what the fuck it is you're watching, because women are horror.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah. Let's make a list of all of the horror movies where a strong female protagonist is alive at the end. Or we can save ourselves a fuckload of time and make a list of the amount of horror movies where a strong male lead is the surviving character at the end. And like I said, for decades, it was never a thing. It was never like, what the fuck, all this feminist bullshit in these Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It's just,
there's no way that little girl would overtake that hulking dude with the mask on.
Yeah. It boils down to it's become this way with any debate, whether it's politics, whether it's fucking abortion, whether it's woke movies, police brutality, anything that people want to debate about nowadays. There's very little intelligent conversation going on, at least with the people that are in the comment section, because I tend to find that people that live in the gray, that are able to have conversations and have nuance and appreciate others' opinions and actually have healthy conversations with people that they respect, they don't tend to use the YouTube comment section as their soapbox. So it's just the people on the opposite ends that want to be heard in their apartments. But you have any debate nowadays that's worth debating, that tends to be the defense mechanism. It's let's bring up my point, and then any point that comes against that, we'll just say stupid shit that makes no sense whatsoever to try to dunk on that person. Let's sacrifice the integrity of the argument to make a point this big to make them sound stupid. And so that's what you get. You go, fuck it. It makes no sense that she would kill a predator. And I'm like, okay, if we're going to head down that road, you better be patient because I got a lot of movies we need to discuss. And you know, just that's the way it is. I mean, it happens with everything. It happens with politics, abortion, whatever. You get one person that says something, and then you get this asinine, idiotic opposite comment that's just there to be like, made you look fucking dumb. Look at all these likes I'm getting. And it's like, no. You know when you hit enter that made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and they always seem to do it in like 17 paragraphs where it's just like, dude, you're saying a whole bunch of nothing.
That's my favorite thing, and that's my favorite response to give people to, where I get like angry novel, and like the first sentence is like something really insulting. Like, you're such a fucking idiot, and then novels. And I'm like, great way to sell me on reading the rest of what the fuck you said is by insulting me right away. Like, how mad are you that I did not read a single word after that? How much time did you waste typing that? And how many times did you go back and copy and paste and articulate?
Yeah, and you could see edited.
Yeah, edited seven versions of it. Yeah. I forgot.
Should I say SJW here, or should I save it for the next sentence? No way the girl in Your Next could take out the intruders. We should have seen her training. Oh, that was a bit of a spoiler for those of you who haven't seen Your Next. But yeah,
it's been 10 years. Fuck 'em.
Yeah,
whatever it's been.
Aliens in T2 and had Ripley and Sarah Connor set up by the first movies. It was part of their arc. No, I'm sorry. No. What did Ripley do in Alien that made you feel that she was a strong female?
No, she was the quintessential final girl in that first movie. She just happened to be the last one alive. And then she pressed a button.
Yeah. She took her clothes off.
You
put the fucking thing on.
Yeah, you could make that argument for Sarah Connor because she definitely had some soldier-ish training from Kyle Reese by the end of that first film. But okay, this is what I'm talking about, though. So you're going to use this point to counteract what we just said. And if you really need me to, I'll sit here and name more movies where in one movie that is just the person's arc. Like, you don't need to have a setup movie to make the strong female character make sense.
Yeah. Aliens. Ripley. I'll sing this till I'm purple in the face. Ripley never had that, getting strong arc that you're implying.
No,
she
that's
ran.
Aliens.
Yeah, she ran, and she watched as the big bad strong military people get picked off one by one. And Aliens, the theme of Aliens was the fact that she was a mother, and she was being protective of Newt, and the training
with the mother of the enemy.
Right. And the training she had was how to use that fucking machine that was ultimately the thing that was the demise of the queen.
The only thing that gave her the upper hand in that movie was just knowledge of how that alien, we're not underestimating the xenomorph, was really it, because the Marines were just so inherently cocky that they never really took it seriously, and then one by fucking one, they all just succumbed. Right.
So no, I don't know where you see that from, but you have something with Sarah Connor, but Ripley, I don't know what movies you're watching. Dale, good old Dale, $5, thank you. Felt generous, so I wanted to drop this. You guys are the best. You're the best, Dale. You're the best.
Yeah.
Low key.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It just where I get passionate is because I tend to see some really, really good movies. Either a lot of people missing out on them that won't give it a chance, or they hear their friend say that it's this, and so they won't give it a chance, or they have a movie that gets, that they win. They get a low box office because of all of the controversy, and then we don't get to see a follow-up. Like Prey is one of those movies to where I'll genuinely be like, it'll be a genuine disappointment. I mean, it'll be I'm not going to go as far as to say a tragedy, but when you have a movie that is of this quality, that is desperately needed in a franchise like this, and you have people that they would rather it fail because they see in the trailer that there's one line of female empowerment being put on it, and it's just like that's the ultimate shame for me. That's where I get passionate about it, to where there's a lot of shit movies out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's some genuinely good ones that have a hell of a lot more to say than what you think it does. And
fucking A.
People take a little nugget, or they get a scent of something, and then they just let.
Am I frozen? I don't know if it's me that's frozen or Cody's frozen. I don't know what happened here. If you can see me, say so. What the fuck? You're not, Cody is. All right. So apologies. Something's up with.
Am I back?
Yes. So that was interesting.
I don't know what that.
Usually it's me.
And all of a sudden,
Yeah,
your theater background, and then you popped in the corner, and I was like, "Did I freeze? Did you freeze?"
In my ear, I heard Cody joined. I'm like, he's fucking here. Shut up. Oh, no, he's not.
Okay. Well, anyway, what I was saying is why I get so passionate is because I see, and not even just the woke stuff. I just see people on the internet nowadays that get this much information, jump to wild assumptions, and don't give a movie a chance or actively campaign against it. And I only see that being done to genuinely good movies. I never see anybody having to campaign against a movie that sucks because there's an agenda or whatever. Like, Terminator Dark Fate is an example that I won't. There was people that thought it was woke because the Kyle Reese character was now a female. There was a lot of people that just didn't like it because they heard that John Connor was shot in the first 3 minutes. And so the internet sabotaged the movie, and we're never going to get a follow-up to that. So that's just an example, but that's where my passion comes from, where it's just like, you see these people calling Prey woke and trying to tell everybody they know that it's woke, and it's like, it's not fucking woke. Just let people enjoy the goddamn movie. Give the movie a chance.
Yeah.
Watch it. If you watch it and decide that it's fucking woke, then whatever, fair enough. But like, just
that's always been the thing, dude. Make up your own fucking mind, man. Like shit. Desi, $5, thank you. Movies, products of their time capsules, our current time capsule, just including minorities, groups that have always existed and haven't been represented. Well said. It's just, it's just what the world looks like today. Things change. If you think about it, Sleeping Beauty was kind of R-worded a little bit. That wasn't. She didn't give permission for that kiss, but I digest. Let me ask. Speaking of Alien, would, if they released Alien today, or whatever, just in the universe of Alien, the fuck, what do they call them? The fuckers that are robots. They bleed white.
the
fucking
androids.
Lance Henriksen. Yeah, the androids. the fact that they're played by humans, shouldn't we then have a problem with the fact that humans are playing androids? If we're gonna like cherry pick and get
I don't know about
really
that, man. I don't know about that.
like
you're doing that comment section thing. You're saying dumb shit to try to make your point.
But it's like, you know,
we can't hire robots, CP. Yeah. We're not there yet. I'm sorry.
I don't buy that person's a robot because I haven't seen their robot training. So,
oh man.
Terminator: The Dark Fate is the equivalent of Alien 3 killed the main character in the opening.
No.
The main character is not John.
You highlighted some neat's comment. Come on now.
Oh,
you know,
I didn't realize it was some neat.
Trying to get a reaction. That's all he's trying to do.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Tim Miller recently said in an interview, Dark Fate was a mistake.
Yeah, for his career. Not that the movie was a mistake. It's because he's not getting any fucking jobs because the last movie that he made tanked at the box office. He made Deadpool, and then he made Dark Fate. That's how Hollywood works. It's, what have you done for me lately? Oh, you had a movie that fucking failed? Oh, no, we're not hiring you, even though it has nothing to do with him.
Dude, it's always about it again, money. They only care about fucking money, which is another reason why a lot of you people fall for these fucking movie reviewers. You know, they're milking that tit that this person's different than me and they're in a movie and I don't like it, so this person's saying words that I want to hear.
That's certainly part of it that people need to be a little bit more open their eyes to. I mean, I'm not going to name names because the channels that are easy to name for doing this, I have little to no knowledge of the context of their videos. So I'm not going to speak ignorantly and say, oh, this is all it's about. But I can certainly tell you from the thumbnails. I could certainly tell you from the thumbnails. There are certain channels out there, like you brought up the Brie Larson thing. The fucking, there'll be 3 months of Brie Larson videos.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, the G4 had that thing where the chick went off on, you know, sexism in gaming, and it was her face across videos for fucking 6 months. And it's just is
that Gamergate? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, I have no. It's something where she went off on G4 viewers because they don't think she's as hot as Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn used to be. And
oh my god.
Yeah, and so I don't even want to get into it because the whole thing is really stupid. Because you had G4, they're like, yeah, you go get them, and it's like, you motherfuckers had those chicks doing like modeling and shit. Like, you knew what you were doing. Like, let's at least acknowledge that you used to be that channel. Nonetheless, that person's face from G4 was plastered across thumbnails for like 6 fucking months, and it was just like G4 woke again, and it was just like, yeah, you had one video that everybody went to like moth to a flame. And you dumb motherfuckers keep going back, so they're just going to keep talking about it ad nauseum until they don't get money anymore. It's like, are they really that passionate about what they're saying, or do they just know that you are? So they're just going to say it and keep saying it and keep saying it until they have a new fucking TV in their living room.
Yeah, I completely have missed the train on this one. I
don't watch their channel, so
I
don't watch their channel, so I really didn't care. But I caught wind of it just because everybody was talking about it when it happened, and then when you see the YouTube recommends, I just saw her face across certain channels for months, and all I did was watch the original video so that I knew to be a part of the conversation. I knew at least what happened. And that's all it was. It was her like, she was like, Olivia Munn was not here to look good for you, and Morgan Webb was not here to look good for you. And it's like, but they were. Like, not saying that they didn't have valuable things to say, because they did.
Well, why didn't you hire somebody that looked fucking chud then? What the fuck? Like, you knew what you were doing.
So that was an example of a channel that was really virtue signaling. It was just like, okay, you might be that channel now, but in order to have any validity to what you're saying, you need to at least acknowledge that that was not you when you were on TV.
Right. And you know, as much as this may hurt some people, people like to look at things that look pretty. And anybody in the entertainment industry is going to exploit that because
it's human nature, guys. We all have advantages. Some of us have 8-inch dicks, some of us has 3-inch dicks, and some of us are gorgeous human beings. Some of us have to have a good personality. It's we all get fucked, and we all get advantages in certain ways.
And I got screwed out of all of it.
Yeah, to totally lose everybody that I gained with going against the anti-woke thing. Like this whole new age thing where it's like we're all even. No, we're not. Like that in a perfect world, yes, we would all be even.
We're all
but
different.
Let's not act stupid. Like
we're all human.
You can grab the fucking most, the guy with the face for radio and throw him on the cover of a magazine and say body positivity all you want, but we're never going to change as humans. You're going to look at something and go, ooh.
A perfect example is Amber Heard. Pretty girl. Very pretty girl. But boy, did she fuck herself up this year because, at the very least, she could have been doing modeling for another 10 years or so. Yeah. But
OnlyFans will be sponsoring her by year end.
Yeah, that's an attractive female that you understand how she got work, but now that you have seen inside the human being, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's just surface level beauty. It exists, and more often than not, that's what gets your foot in the door in things where your face needs to be in front of a screen. So, is it fair? No, but it's just the way it is. Fair. Right.
We can bitch about it. We can put on the blinders. We can call it whatever we want to call it. It's never going to. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself if you try to say that it's not. There's YouTubers that know that they can squeeze their tits together in the thumbnail and get more views than I ever will. It's just, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's how it is. I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to scream body shaming, body positivity or anything like that. I work with what I got. You work with what you got. They work with what they got. We all have different advantages. Some people are fucking stupid and they got to get through life by, having implants or having fucking biceps. It's just, we're all eating a shit sandwich together. We're trying to put some condiments on that motherfucker to get it down.
Yeah, there's different elements where some of us are stronger than others in certain fields, and some people need to work harder than others in certain. It's just figuring out how to, if you want to be a part of a certain thing where maybe the cards are against you, you're going to work harder. And may I suggest watching Rocky? You just got to work harder and figure things out and invest more. Unfortunately, some people are at the finish line and you have to run the whole race. Fourth drawer down says, I think if you look hard enough for something, you'll probably find it. And I don't want to watch movies thinking that's woke or this is woke. I don't go to the movies with a pen and paper. Yeah. That's a brilliant point.
I've made that point before with certain movies where you're like, I knew this movie was going to be that. I'm like, you literally walked in waiting for any minute validation of your preconceived notion of the movie. You walked in wanting this to happen. Right. If you watched it naturally, if you didn't watch a trailer, had no knowledge, I guarantee it would have fucking float right over your head. You would have never paid attention to it because it's this much of the movie. But you walk in like, this better not fucking be right there, right fucking there. I'm out.
Well, it's like you said about Lightyear. Like you could literally ask the person with you a question and miss the fucking crazy moment that everybody's up in arms about. It's just like, oh shit, I dropped my keys. What happened?
Yeah. Exactly.
People just look for things, and it goes back to what I was talking about with people in the background, like in Star Wars. You really have to look for that kiss to see that kiss. I'm sorry, but it didn't catch my attention. I wasn't really focused on it, but boy, did certain people. I mean, good for you for looking at you know, the 2:00 portion of the screen during a movie, but okay, cool. It's a shame because I really like the critical drinker channels that make the same content, like Nerdrotic and The Quartering, however, are not good. Well, you know, they're going after, they're doing the, it's all money, just like Hollywood, money. It's all money. They've got a market cornered, and they're going to milk it.
Yeah.
I don't think every movie, show, or media having something like gay characters and such is woke. No, we don't either. Like that's basically the message here. Just because something is in a movie doesn't make that the thesis of the movie. I did say Amber shit the bed. She shit the bed literally and as far as yeah, she's still pretty. I can hate a girl and still fuck her. No comment.
Let's not head that direction. We're going to derail. Everybody knows guys are that shallow and that stupid. And it's like, well, fuck, even if we don't like you. It's
right.
Like, everyone knows
right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm not. I don't even care if she talks.
Get back on track. Back on track.
Hey, man, give it a rest. Her dog stepped on a bee.
Yeah. I shit when I get stung too.
Brie Larson breathes. The Quartering. Dawn walks up and leaves.
Again, a channel I've never watched a single moment of their content, so I can't.
Yeah. Well, I'm limited.
All I can go off of is thumbnails with what I was talking about. Is that I know certain channels that get brought up in this conversation where it's like they have the same thumbnail with a little variation for months. And it's just like, oh, they're still talking about how Star Wars sucks. Okay.
I know a little bit about him. He did so much Brie Larson content and made so much AdSense that he had an addition on his house and he named it Brie Larson. He named the addition on his house Brie Larson. Like, yeah, that's responsible.
I'm gonna go balls out and name an addition to my house Mikey Myers. You guys want to go hang out in the Mikey room?
The 3.4. This is the 3.4 dungeon. Kate was an action film last year that was devoid of politics, and it gets. Wait, what? Kate was an action film from last year that was devoid of politics as it gets, and it was called Woke just for having a female lead. Long kiss goodnight. I wouldn't play now. Yeah, no, you're right. And Cody said that. Mm-hmm. You literally can't have female leads. Well, unless they're like naked or something. That you know, Showgirls. If you want to redo Showgirls, you go right ahead. We'll line up and right. Surprise. Gay people exist. Trans people exist. Black people exist. Women exist. Lots of humans exist and do extraordinary things. They should be represented. So this gen grows up seeing themselves. Right. And it shouldn't be made a deal of one way or another. It should just be they're there. Like highlighting it.
If it serves the story,
right,
they need to be in there. If they're the best person for the job, they need to be in there.
Right.
One thing that I will say that I agree with is where that will go to the opposite end of extreme with certain people, not Desi, but certain people will there's certain decision makers that will put inclusion, put representation before anything else, to where you'll have two people here for a role. You got, white dude, black dude, white dude might be better for the role, but we need to get some points. So, you know, we'll give it to this guy. Like, it never needs to be that way. It never needs to be that way in any way, shape, or form. Whether it's a black guy, a woman, whatever, if it's the best person for the role, best person for the job, that's what it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it can't go extreme. It can't go extreme one way or the other. It can't be like just white dudes, and it also can't be just like, well, no white dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Black Klansman was a brilliant movie. Not once did I think about anything that was going on with the people in the movie. The story, it was relevant to the story. God forbid. Red Sonja was LGBTQ plus, but nobody trying to cancel that. Has a female queen trying to get with Sonja, and once she declines, burns down her village and family. I've never seen that. Red Sonja?
Never heard of it.
A YouTuber named Eric July raised $3.5 million in the last month for his comic book he made, and the sales pitch is that it's not woke. God bless.
Hey, if you guys are interested, I'm going to make a movie in 20 years that's not woke. My PayPal information is...
Yeah, really, preach. I'm going to make content that's not woke. So if you want to just join my Patreon. What the fuck? I'm trying to catch up. Look at Batman. There was a black Commissioner Gordon and Catwoman. They were great. Yeah.
Well, the crowd even came out for that, though.
Yeah.
The crowd even came out saying, "Oh, yeah, they blackwashed or they race swapped Gordon," and then you had Catwoman say that one line about the white privileged cops that they were taking down. Oh, what the fucking, can't even get to Batman without seeing this shit. And it's like, that's for who Selena Kyle is as a character. That line makes 100% perfect sense for her to make.
Yeah. Oh, the thief. The fucking okay, right. Red Sonja is the Bridget Nielsen helmed Conan-esque movie from the 80s with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have not seen it. Silence from Martin Scorsese's a good example. It's about religion, but it's not trying to convert you. It's just the theme of the story being told. Yeah, that's Martin Scorsese, somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to making a movie. Yeah. I think, no offense. No offense to you two, but I feel like white people have adopted the term woke and ran with it. Yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm fucking tired of it.
Well, Bill Burr even has a bit about that where he's like, like everybody's talking about woke. He's like, woke originally was a term that black people used. Like, it was about staying aware of police brutality and injustices. And then you had white women that were like, oh my God, I like that. I'm going to use that. And then like now it's a movie term.
I'm hoping to buy a new car next year. That will almost certainly not be woke. Donations welcome. Well, when you're certain, let us know. Oh boy, it's a good thing Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul aren't cape shit. What is cape shit? Because they'd be called woke for having Gus Fring be a gay Chilean man. Oh, is he gay in the show?
He was gay in Breaking Bad.
Was he?
They never said definitively, but yeah, the guy the guy in season 4, this episode Hermanos that they shot that set him on his path of revenge was his lover. It's always been heavily hinted at. Heavily hinted at. They've never had a line. They've never had a line that like defined it, but that was always right in front of your face.
Yeah, but I need to see them fuck. Otherwise, I don't believe that he's gay.
Yeah, I need to see the grooming part of his story.
The grooming.
Yeah, even in Better Call Saul, they don't say anything explicitly, but it's fucking, it's right there in front of your face. If you're shocked at that, I'm like, were you asleep watching the show? It's just like we were talking about Last of Us last night. Last of Us is a perfect example to where you have this character Ellie, and she's on this path where she has some kind of immunity that she wants to give to the world. And then you play the DLC. All you knew about how she got bit was she said, me and my friend got bit. I survived somehow. They did not. And that's all you were given. Then you get the DLC that shows what happens, and it's her and her girl best friend that sneak out of the orphanage, and they're partying in a mall, having a good old time. And then they have a scene where it shows that they like each other. They're very young. They're like, 9 years old or whatever. So it's that innocent young love, if you will, where you don't really know what this feeling is. Like it's not, it's just, it's kid. So you have that happens, and narratively that reinforces and extrapolates the tragedy of her character exponentially, to where you're like, okay, it was just she was driven to do this because she lost her best friend. Now you realize there's this whole extra layer to it that just completely gives something new to her character, reframes things in a way that's rewarding. And it's like, that is the perfect example of doing something like that, putting it into the story for the story and the character's sake. It makes sense. It adds things to it. It enriches everything that came before. And then you got people that played part 2. Fucking whoa! They made Ellie gay out of nowhere. What the hell? And it's just like, no.
Yeah. It fills her character. The loss is, something that I don't know. You almost feel like telling everybody, why don't you read about what storytelling is, what characters really are, and then you can have access to YouTube.
Yeah.
Even though I don't care about race swapping characters, it's still weird that gingers keep getting swapped.
Examples, please.
In which direction?
Yeah. You just can't light them right.
Don't get me started on the discourse around Will from Stranger Things. Kid was always written to be a closeted gay teenager in the 80s.
Yeah, in the first, second episode, they say that. First episode, they say it, actually. I just recently rewatched season 1. First episode, they say that. Where the mom's like, yeah, the kids at school call him the F word. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see, and that's something because it takes place in the time. Like, I would complain if he were out and a la Glee. During that time, it wasn't
trendy.
Yeah, right, exactly. Being closeted was certainly the prominent thing to do if you were in the LGBTQ plus community. You had to keep it a secret. So, being closeted makes sense in that time period. That's where I would, in the woke complaint department, if he were out and just fucking deal with it and whatever, then it'd be like, wait a minute. In the 80s, it wasn't like that. But that is an example of where I would sound like one of the other people. Wait, where? I'm not acknowledging that. As a black gay man, I would most likely be the first one killed in a horror film, which is a shame. I hate to tell you this, Alonzo. I don't think you'd be cast. You got a long way to go before you're even in a movie. Unfortunate facts. The Boys was also accused of being woke for the A-Train Blue Hawk storyline, even though the show is very critical of A-Train. I don't watch The Boys, but I heard that was pretty fucking good, that show.
It is. It's not woke at all. It's
I'm
very
shocked.
out there. It's very out there.
Mm-hmm. You got to be historically accurate. I was raised by two women who were not allowed to be out and still have custody of me, so they were sisters to the public. That's why it's important. Yeah. I don't. The Boys was accused of being woke for Queen Maeve being bi too. Well, I mean, again, we're kind of circling around at this point. The word gets used too much. The word gets used too much, and
like every other buzzword,
right,
it gets applied to everything, and then the things that it actually deserves to be applied to become background noise because you're just tired of seeing the word.
Right, and you know, the story should be the most important thing, and secondary to the story is the characters. Most important I would hope would be the protagonist, then the antagonist, and then from there you have the tertiary characters. But those are the important things. You know, the little fucking seasoning that makes them what they are. That is the writers, the creators, the directors. That's their choosing. At that point, you know, then maybe if you start having problems with it, then nitpick. But just because somebody of a certain something is in a story you're watching doesn't mean that it's got an agenda. I really hate to break this to you. I genuinely hate to break this to you, because when people write stories, they're not thinking of, all right, how do I wrap 90 minutes around having a shot of two dudes kiss? I need to make a movie where two dudes kiss, but I need to like not really have it be a big deal, and I'm going to just wrap a movie around it. That's just not the way things happen.
Yep. The way that it will happen is a guy will have a story, it'll get picked up, and the studio will mandate little changes. You need to make this guy a bisexual character. You need to make sure that these people kiss in the scene or whatever. And as long as it's not something that's taken the forefront, or the movie literally comes to a screeching halt to show that, it never registers for me when I watch a film. It's just like, okay, whatever, that happened. Now we've given many examples where the movie will come to a screeching fucking halt, and it might as well put text on the screen saying whatever they're trying to come across with. And that's the stuff that I will get annoyed with. And that's the stuff that does deserve the backlash that I will completely understand all of the points being hailed against it. But you got to target your fucking frustration to who deserves it. Because what ends up happening is you have the group of people that have this cause, as silly as the cause might be at the end of the day, because it's just movies. You have this cause and you want to get people on your side at the end of the day, but applying your cause to fucking everything is going to do the opposite, because you're going to have people that might understand what you're saying to a degree, or might agree to a degree, or might be willing to listen, but you're so loud and belligerent and just smearing it on everything that you just, again, you're something that I'm just going to scroll past at this point, where I'm just like, I don't even want to fucking, I don't care.
Yeah. I would hope, my suggestion to those of you who would want to know what the difference between woke and not woke is, just look into the story itself. Pretend everybody is the same. Pretend you're watching Minions. And if something is awry after you watch the movie, then get to it. But not everything. You can't just go into a movie and be like, all right, if this happens, that's it. This movie sucks. Like that. That's not the way. You're ruining the whole process.
Yeah.
Cody, what do you got coming up?
Oh fuck. So
Sorry, didn't mean to ask a tough question.
You're good. You've got They Them coming out tomorrow, I believe, on Peacock.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't gotten any kind of preview thing for it, so I don't know anybody at Peacock. But if I'm not incorrect with that coming out tomorrow, I'll watch that and most likely review it. I have
Speak of the devil.
Yeah,
that is
that's a movie that could go either way very easily.
Yeah.
The Predator ranking I have on Saturday. I'm going to try my best to actually do the Sleepaway Camp reviews at some point next week, and I also have the horror 5 cool tier list that I have planned for Tuesday. They're all tentative dates, but for the most part, that's what you can look forward to. Predator ranking, Sleepaway Camp, and the horror franchise tier list.
5 cool. How many?
Now we're getting into rough territory with 5. I'm like,
5. How many are there 5 of?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're lost, check out the stream from last night. We were over on Rudy's channel, Rudy 8.
For 4+ hours.
Yeah, 4 and change. Yeah, 4.5. I think we did.
Yeah.
So if you just want to BS and not have such heavy-handed, actually, I think we discussed shit like this even then too.
For a sneeze, yeah.
For a little sneeze. Go check that out. Happy Sanjo, a little late. Thank you, $2. 50 vids on one topic or person is simply grifting. I cannot disagree. 50 videos on one topic or person is simply grifting. And somebody has put an extension on their house based on one of their grifts. It's a yes. I great statement. I have nothing else to add to that. All right, guys. So we'll see you another time. Cody, people keep asking about the 31st.
Yeah, that'll come soon. I mean, within the next week, I'll have something put together, and we'll announce the one for the end of this month.
Yeah, as long as my luggage isn't here, I think I might just do it live because it's a lot. This one's a little bit easier, the August one, because the fantasy one, there's still stuff I haven't seen, and I'm away from my collection. And
yeah, the next 2 are going to be very easy. It's going to be a nice break.
Oh yeah.
I already have most of my thoughts formulated.
Wow, I only got like 90 minutes of work to do. This is good.
I'm telling you. After that fucking fantasy one, man, I need like a 2-year break.
Yeah. Thank you everybody in the chat for being civil. First of all, geez. Thank you for those of you who super chat. That is a fair point. Woke, just Cody's internet connection. Anti-woke, CP's dial-up connection. Yeah, I'm here in Europe right now. I can't help it. I apologize. Until next time, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one, or not. Bye.